someone who has been wrestling with themselves in private and is finally reaching the point where hiding is costing more than action. So right away, I'm getting that this person is not only thinking about returning, their whole inner world is being pushed toward a moment of truth. The first card I'm seeing here is Judgment. And wow, that is a loud card for awakening. This is not just missing you a little bit. This is not casual nostalgia. This is the kind of energy that shakes somebody awake from denial, delay, ego, fear, and emotional numbness. I feel like this person has been haunted by the truth of what you meant to them. Maybe they tried to downplay it. Maybe they tried to distract themselves. Maybe they convinced themselves they had more time. But Judgment says the truth has gotten too loud now. Their soul is calling them back to what they tried to outrun. And I have to say, this awakening does not feel comfortable for them. Because right beside that, I'm seeing the Nine of Swords. So yes, there is regret here, restlessness, sleepless thinking, replaying, what ifs, why did I do that energy. This person may be going over moments with you again and again, hearing conversations in their head, remembering the way you made them feel, realizing where they pulled back, realizing where pride spoke louder than love, realizing where fear cost them something real. And that kind of realization is intense. It is not pretty. It is not convenient, but it is honest. And Spirit is saying honesty is exactly what is cracking them open right now. The next card I'm seeing is the Five of Pentacles, and this tells me their absence did not create peace for them. It created emptiness, lack, emotional coldness. I feel like this person thought distance might help them feel more in control, but instead, distance made the loss more visible. It made your absence louder. It made them understand that what they left behind was not easy to replace. So now this return energy feels different. It feels heavier, more serious, more willing to risk something. Then we have the Knight of Wands. And yes, this is where the coming back to fight for your love energy begins showing itself, because there is movement here, passion here, urgency here. This feels like a person who may have spent too long sitting in inner conflict, but that period is ending. The fire is rising. The need to come toward you is rising, and I do not feel this as careless energy in this reading. I feel it as someone hitting their emotional limit and realizing they cannot stay passive anymore. Now, the card around your energy is the Queen of Cups, and I love that here because it tells me your heart, your softness, your emotional depth left a mark on this person that they could not erase. You were not just someone they talked to, you became a feeling, a memory with emotional weight, a mirror, a place in their life where something true was happening. And I think that is part of why this awakening is so strong. You represented real feeling, and real feeling is exactly what they have not been able to shake. I'm also seeing the Hanged Man, and this is very important. Because it says the return does not come only from desire, it comes from perspective change. This person is starting to see things in a new light, starting to understand your side more deeply, starting to realize what they were blind to before. So the major awakening here is not only I still love this person, it is also I understand now what I did, and I understand now what this really was. That is big, because many people miss love and still stay asleep. But this person feels like they are being forced into awareness. Then we have the Ace of Swords. And wow, truth, clear truth. I feel like communication is very connected to this return. A need to say something, explain something, admit something, cut through old confusion. This person may come back wanting to finally be direct in a way they were not before. Because once awakening hits like this, vague energy becomes unbearable. They need clarity, they need expression, they need truth spoken. The final card I'm seeing here is the Chariot. And that is strong confirmation that this is not a static feeling. It is moving, building, gaining force. So the biggest message in this first part is this person is going through an emotional and spiritual awakening, and it is pushing them out of regret, out of distance, and toward action. They are realizing your value deeply, and the energy around them says they are not content to just sit with that realization forever. They want to return. They want to fight for what they now understand they could lose. Then the feeling shifts not into softness exactly, but into urgency with a heartbeat under it. Because what I'm getting now is that this person is no longer only waking up to what they lost. They are waking up to what you truly are, and that changes everything. Missing someone can stay passive for a while. Regret can stay in the mind for a while. But once a person realizes this was real, this was rare, and I may not get another chance like this, that is when the energy starts moving differently. The first card I'm seeing here is the Lovers. And wow, this is not small energy at all. This is the recognition of a bond, a meaningful one, a heart level one, a connection that forced choice, truth, and emotional consequence. So I feel like part of this awakening is that this person can no longer reduce what happened between you to timing, chemistry, attraction, or unfinished business. No, they are realizing there was something sacred in it, something they felt deeply, even if they did not know how to handle it then. And right beside that, I'm seeing the Hermit in reverse. So yes, this person is coming out of isolation. Coming out of emotional hiding, coming out of the private cave where they have been thinking, replaying, circling, and trying to understand themselves. And I feel like that matters so much here because this return is not only about wanting you, it is about no longer being able to live with silence the same way, no longer being able to act like distance is noble when really it has become avoidance. Spirit keeps saying this person is tired of their own distance now, tired of the walls, tired of the excuse patterns, tired of trying to look unaffected when they are not unaffected at all. The next card I'm seeing is the Six of Cups. And that is beautiful because it tells me memory is a huge part of what is pulling them back. But this does not feel like shallow nostalgia. It feels emotional, soulful, tender. They keep returning to moments with you that felt pure, honest, and alive. They remember how you made them feel inside themselves. They remember the softness, the recognition, the strange comfort. And I feel like the awakening here is that they finally understand those moments were not small. They were formative. I'm also hearing something very clearly. They never stopped feeling it. That line lands strongly. And I feel that for many of you, one of the shocking things about this person's return is going to be the intensity of what they admit. Because I do not think the feeling left. I think the feeling got buried, delayed, covered, rationalized, but not gone. And now the cover is failing. Then we have the Seven of Wands. And this is where the fight for your love message gets louder. Because I feel this person is reaching a point where they are willing to push through obstacles, pride, distance, misunderstanding, maybe even outside interference, just to make sure this connection is not lost without a real effort. This is someone realizing that if they do nothing, they may have to live with that forever, and that thought is becoming unbearable. Now, the card around your energy is the Empress, and I love this so much because it tells me your value has become crystal clear to them. Your softness, your worth, your presence, your emotional richness, all of it feels magnified in their eyes now. I think this person may have appreciated you before, yes. But now it feels deeper. Now it feels like they understand what it actually means to lose someone like you. And that realization is humbling them. I'm also seeing the Page of Pentacles, and that tells me their return may begin with something simple but sincere. A message, a gesture, an opening, something that says, I want to start somewhere real. Because after an awakening like this, I do not feel they want to stay in fantasy. They want a bridge back, something tangible, something honest. The final card I'm seeing here is Strength, and that is such an important ending for this part because it tells me this return is asking courage from them, emotional courage, ego-breaking courage. The courage to admit they were wrong or scared or not ready before. The courage to come towards someone they still deeply care about and risk not being received the way they hope. That is not easy. But Spirit is saying the feeling has become stronger than the fear. So the biggest message in this second part is this person's major awakening is making them realize that what they shared with you was rare, deeply felt, and still very much alive inside them. They are coming out of isolation, out of silence, and into a more courageous energy. And yes, I really do feel they are preparing to make a real effort, not only to return, but to prove that this time they understand what they are fighting for. Deeply, truly. And now the energy deepens because this no longer feels like someone only feeling regret in the background or missing you in a quiet way. No, this feels like the moment where the heart begins overruling the old defenses. The first card I'm seeing here is the King of Cups. And wow, this tells me there's a lot more emotional depth in this person than they allowed you to see before. They may have tried to stay composed, controlled, hard to read, maybe even detached at times. But underneath all of that, their feelings were moving, growing, and collecting weight. And now Spirit is showing me that this emotional truth is becoming impossible for them to keep sealed away. I keep hearing something clearly here. I can't pretend this doesn't matter anymore. That sentence feels important because it tells me this person has reached a breaking point with their own emotional avoidance. They may have spent a long time trying to reduce the connection in their mind. Tell themselves it would pass, convince themselves that staying silent was wiser, safer, easier, but the problem is what they feel for you did not fade under silence. It deepened, it matured. It became something that keeps rising no matter how many times they try to push it back down. Then right beside that, I'm seeing the Eight of Cups in reverse. And that is huge because this is somebody who cannot truly walk away emotionally. They may have created distance. They may have gone quiet. They may have tried to move forward in appearances. But in the heart, no, they did not leave this behind. They did not close the door the way they acted like they did. And I feel like part of the awakening here is that they finally see that too. They finally understand that what they feel has staying power. It has roots, it has meaning. It did not vanish just because time passed. The next card I'm seeing is the Three of Wands, and this tells me they are looking ahead now, not only backward. So yes, memory and regret are part of this, but this person is also starting to think about possibility. What would happen if they came back? What they would say, how you might respond, whether there is still room to rebuild, whether love can survive what has already happened. I feel them standing at the edge of decision, looking toward you, and realizing that doing nothing is no longer the easier path. Now, the card around your energy is the High Priestess, and I love this because it tells me your energy still feels powerful, sacred, and not fully available to them in the way they may want. There is mystery around you, depth around you, silence around you, maybe. And that silence is speaking loudly to them because when someone loses easy access to a person who truly mattered, they begin to feel the value of what was once in reach. I'm also seeing the Five of Cups, and yes, there is sorrow here. Real sorrow. This person is grieving what was mishandled. They are grieving what was not said. They are grieving the version of events that could have happened if they had acted sooner, chosen differently, spoken more honestly, or fought harder the first time. So if you are wondering whether this awakening is emotional, it absolutely is. This is not dry thought. There is pain in it. There is longing in it. There is the ache of someone understanding the emotional cost of their own choices. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. And I actually like this in this reading because it tells me their return may not be chaotic or purely impulsive. Yes, there is urgency in them, but I also feel a seriousness growing, a wish to come back the right way, a wish to be more stable, more intentional, more trustworthy than before. And then the final card I'm seeing here is the Ace of Cups, beautiful, because this confirms what the heart of the awakening really is: love, feeling, emotional truth. The opening of something that was once blocked. So the biggest message in this third part is this person is coming back because their heart has caught up with the truth. They can no longer deny that the connection still matters, that they never truly left emotionally, and that what they feel for you is strong enough to demand action. They are grieving the past, yes, but they are also beginning to hope for a future. And that combination, grief plus hope, is exactly what pushes a person to finally fight for love instead of just quietly missing it. And Spirit keeps whispering one thing here. This return is not being powered by loneliness. It is being powered by realization. A deep one. That is why the energy feels so serious. That is why the silence is breaking. That is why the heart is moving. Because once someone truly awakens to what you are to them, staying away starts to feel like the real loss. Then something changes in the fire of this connection. It stops feeling like private emotion only and starts feeling like decision. That is the strongest thing coming through here. Now, this person is not just awakening to love. They are awakening to responsibility, to consequence, to the fact that what they do next matters. The first card I'm seeing here is the Emperor. And wow, this tells me they are trying to gather themselves, pull themselves together, get serious, get clear, get stronger than the fear that kept them passive before. So if this person once felt uncertain, inconsistent, avoidant, emotionally all over the place, or too trapped in their own inner conflict, Spirit is showing me that they are moving into a more grounded energy now, and that matters. Because love without action can only go so far. This person knows that now. I keep hearing something very clearly. If I want this, I have to show up differently. That sentence feels huge because it tells me the awakening is not only emotional, it is behavioral. They are realizing they cannot come back with half effort, half truth, half courage, not this time. Then right beside that, I'm seeing the Six of Wands, and this is powerful because it tells me part of their return is tied to pride in the right sense, not ego, not performance. But the desire to rise, to do something honorable, to come towards you in a way that restores dignity to the connection. I feel like this person wants to be seen by you differently now. Not as somebody lost in confusion, not as somebody who only talks, not as somebody who runs from depth. They want to come back stronger, clearer, more sure of themselves. Now, the next card I'm seeing is the Page of Cups. And I love that this is here with the Emperor because it tells me the return is not becoming cold or overly controlled. No, there is still tenderness here, still vulnerability, still a soft place in them that only opens because of you. So I feel like one of the major awakenings happening is that this person is learning strength does not mean shutting love down. Strength means carrying love honestly. That is beautiful, and I think that lesson has taken them time. The card around your energy is the Star, and wow, that tells me you are still the light in their mind, the hope, the healing point, the person they associate with truth, renewal, possibility, and emotional meaning. You may not even realize how strongly you live in their inner world this way, but you do. I feel like when they picture what could still be beautiful in their life, you are in that picture. When they picture peace, you are there. When they picture a second chance that would actually matter, they see you. Then I'm seeing the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and this is huge because it says they are done juggling, done trying to balance opposite truths, done trying to hold on to pride while also holding on to love. Done trying to act like they can manage life by keeping their heart compartmentalized. Something is tipping now, and what is tipping is them toward honesty, toward choice, toward directness. I'm also getting a very strong phrase here. I can't keep doing this to myself. That line lands hard because this person is starting to understand that staying away has not protected them. It has only prolonged the ache, prolonged the confusion, prolonged the unfinished feeling. Then the next card I'm seeing is Temperance, and this is so important because it tells me their return may come with a wish to heal, not just reconnect, to make peace, not just reopen contact to approach you from a more balanced place than before. This person may want to show you that something has changed in them internally, that they have reflected, that they have felt the absence, that they have grown through it. And finally, the last card I'm seeing here is the Knight of Swords. So yes, there is movement, fast movement, a push to say something, a push to break silence, a push to break silence, a push to stop overthinking and come forward. So the biggest message in this fourth part is this person is moving out of emotional passivity and into a more intentional, courageous energy. Their awakening is showing them that if they truly want your love, they have to return with honesty, effort, tenderness, and action. They are not only feeling the connection deeply now, they are realizing they must rise to meet it. And that realization is exactly what turns longing into pursuit. Spirit keeps saying one more thing very clearly here. They do not want to come back the same person who lost you. They want to come back as the person who is finally ready to fight for you. After that, the energy does not calm down. It sharpens. It is like this person has crossed some inner line where pretending is no longer possible. And now everything inside them keeps pointing in one direction. Back to you. The first card I'm seeing here is the Chariot. And wow, this is not passive longing anymore. This is movement, decision, willpower. A person choosing not to sit in emotional paralysis any longer. So what I'm getting is that this person is building momentum, not only in thought, not only in feeling and intention. They are getting to the point where they would rather risk rejection than keep living with the unfinished ache of never having tried properly. And that is huge because I feel like before, fear had more control. Pride had more control. Confusion had more control, but now love is getting louder than all of that. Then right beside that, I'm seeing the Five of Wands, and this tells me there is still conflict around the return. But the conflict is mostly now this person is fighting themselves, fighting old habits, fighting hesitation, fighting the voice that says, what if it's too late? What if I already lost this? What if I come forward and it changes nothing? So yes, they are struggling, but what matters is this. They are struggling in the direction of you that is different from before. Before, they may have gone quiet and let the conflict keep them frozen. Now, the conflict is pushing them toward action because the pressure of silence has become heavier than the pressure of honesty. The card around your energy here is the Queen of Wands. And I love this because it tells me they are feeling your magnetism strongly now. Your confidence, your light, your warmth, your unforgettable presence. And I think part of what is pulling them back is the realization that you did not become less meaningful with time. You became more, you grew in their mind, in their heart, in the emotional space they tried to control. I keep hearing something here. She still has that pull, or for some of you, they still have that pull. And yes, that feels right. Because this person still feels drawn to your energy in a way that is not fading, it is maturing, deepening, becoming impossible to dismiss. Then I'm seeing the Eight of Pentacles, and that is important because it tells me this person is thinking seriously about effort, work consistency, what it would actually take to repair what has been damaged or to prove that this return means something real. So the major awakening here is not just I want them back. It is if I get another chance, I have to do this differently. That is powerful because many people miss love, but not everyone becomes willing to work for it. This person is becoming willing. The next card I'm seeing is the Moon in reverse. And wow, that tells me the fog is breaking even more. Confusion is leaving. Emotional denial is leaving. The stories they told themselves to avoid the truth are collapsing. And when the fog lifts, one thing keeps standing there clearly: you, your importance, your impact, your place in their heart. Then we have the Ace of Wands. Beautiful, because this says the return is being fueled by passion, courage, life force. There is a spark in them now that wants movement, wants contact, wants a new beginning, wants the chance to act instead of imagine. I also feel for some of you that this person may come in more boldly than expected. Not perfectly, maybe, not with every word rehearsed, but with heat, urgency, real desire to break the silence and shift the energy between you. And then the final card I'm seeing here is the Ten of Pentacles. That changes the whole tone because this tells me what they are fighting for is not shallow, not temporary. Not only romantic excitement, they are seeing long-term value, now stability. Future, something they could actually build, something worth protecting, something worth humbling themselves for. So the biggest message in this fifth part is this person is moving out of fear and into determined action. Yes, they are still fighting conflict. Yes, they are still wrestling with timing, regret, and the weight of what has happened. But the awakening has reached a point where they no longer want to just feel the connection. They want to fight for it, repair it, and prove they are capable of showing up with real effort. Their heart is no longer content with silence. Their soul is pushing them toward movement, and Spirit keeps repeating one final thing here. This person is not only coming back because they miss you, they are coming back because they see your value more clearly now, and they know some loves do not come twice unless you are brave enough to answer when they do. And now here at the final part, the energy feels like a heart finally stepping out from behind its own armor, not slowly, not halfway, not with one foot still turned toward escape. No, this feels like someone reaching the point where love matters more than image, more than pride, more than the old excuses that once kept everything frozen. The first card I'm seeing here is Judgment, and wow, this is the full awakening. Not just regret, not just memory, not just longing. This is realization with weight, realization with consequence. Realization that says, I know now what this connection truly is, and I cannot go back to pretending I do not. So what I'm getting very strongly is that this person has crossed an inner threshold. The old version of them could delay, could hide, could overthink, could sit in silence and hope the feelings would pass. But this version, no, this version understands that silence has become its own loss, its own punishment, its own heartbreak. Then right beside that, I'm seeing the Knight of Cups, beautiful, because this tells me the return is not only fiery or desperate, it is heartfelt, emotional, sincere. This person wants to come back with feeling, with honesty, with a softer truth than they may have shown before. I feel like one of the most shocking parts of this return may actually be the vulnerability in it, the tenderness in it, the fact that they may finally say what they were too guarded, too proud, or too emotionally confused to say before. And I keep hearing something very clearly: I should have fought sooner. That line lands hard because it tells me this person knows delay costs something, they know fear costs something, they know staying hidden did not protect love. It only starved it. The next card I'm seeing is the Seven of Pentacles. And this tells me they are looking at the whole story now. The time, the waiting, the missed chances. The emotional investment that never really went away. And what they are realizing is that their heart has stayed with this far longer than their mind wanted to admit. This was not a phase, not a passing ache, not some little emotional wave that came and went. No, this stayed. It rooted. It kept growing in silence. The card around your energy here is the Empress, and I love that so much because it tells me your worth has become undeniable to them. Your softness, your strength, your emotional beauty, your presence, your rarity. They see it now in a more mature way, not just as attraction, not just as desire, but as value, as blessing, as something a person would have to be awake to truly honor. And that is part of the major awakening too. They are realizing that loving you is not something they can approach casually. Then I'm seeing the Six of Wands. And yes, this person wants to come back and win your heart the right way. Not through games, not through confusion, not through ego. They want movement, progress. A chance to prove themselves. A chance to show they are no longer the same version of themselves who let this connection sit in uncertainty. I'm also seeing the Moon in reverse, and that is a very strong sign that the hidden truth is coming out. What they buried rises, what they avoided becomes speakable, what they felt but would not name. Now to man's language. So if this person comes back and says something that surprises you, something more honest, more emotional, more direct than expected, this reading says that would make sense because the awakening is not subtle anymore, it is breaking the silence. Then the final card I'm seeing here is the Ace of Pentacles, and that is such a powerful ending because it tells me this person does not only want emotional release. They want a real chance, a real beginning, a real opening they can put their hands on and build with. So the biggest message in this final part is this person is coming back because the awakening has become too strong to ignore. They are no longer content to privately miss you, privately love you, privately regret you, or privately dream about what could have been. They want to offer. They want to fight for your love in a more honest, grounded, and emotionally awake way than before, and Spirit keeps repeating one final thing very clearly. This person is not returning as someone who simply wants access to you again. They are returning as someone who now understands what you are worth and what it will cost them if they lose you for real. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. And this time, their heart is no longer asking whether love is safe or hidden. It is asking if they can bear another day without trying at all. That is why the return feels different now. It feels chosen. It feels true. I think that's all I have for you today. And thank you so much for watching. Not halfway, not with one foot still turned toward escape. No,